Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week where I'm revealing to you the two major stock purchases that I made this week, costing me about $3,000 in my over 350K stock portfolio. But more prevalently, as I scour the internet looking for golden, juicy nuggets of information coming out of my favorite investors, whether we're talking Cathie Wood or my favorite CEOs like Tim Apple running that big Apple company there, guys, have been making some incredible comments, and I always love kind of screen capping these to bring this to you guys. So we're going to start by taking a look at that first and foremost. So consider hitting that like button because I think this is worth commenting on. So let's kick it off by first and foremost talking about Cathie Wood, because she's talking about this kind of risk-off environment, where she sees her portfolios today and where she thinks it's going in the future. So take a quick listen and we'll be right back.
I will say that this risk-off period, which started in February and is still in force, is a very unusual one for us. I've never been in a market that is up, has appreciated, and our strategies are down. That has never happened before. And in fact, the disconnect is even more strange when I look at the up rounds taking place in the private world when it comes to innovation. Nubank comes out today. I think it had an up round this year that doubled.
Sorry for interrupting. Do you then change your strategy? If you've never seen this before, where there's an appreciation, but your strategy isn't working, do you change your strategy?
We have a 5-year investment time horizon. Our strategy is our strategy, and we believe that truth will win in the end. So we think the opportunity in our strategy is huge right now. In fact, rarely in my career have I seen our 5-year projections for returns, compound annual returns, hit 40%.
So Cathie Wood here, guys, I feel like is relating to a lot of these kind of risk-on investors right now, because whether you're looking at Corsair Gaming, Tattooed Chef, Wish, I mean, the list goes on, Alibaba, those Chinese stocks, I mean, you are getting absolutely clobbered, especially if you've been buying them in the last year. And it's unfortunate, it's pain, it's the reality of it. And we're still living in this environment where these stocks are still trading down, right? But she said that she's never been in a period where the stock market has generally been going up, yet her stocks have been going down. And I almost feel like she's got this frustration about her because they're running those kind of mathematical, formulas that they do, coming up with these absurd returns of expected to be 40% year over year for the next 3 to 5 years. And I mean, I'm just curious to see how a lot of this comes into fruition, because my thought on the market right now is I can only feel like most people feel like I do, which is why buy small caps. And even though small caps, they have the higher likelihood of doubling, tripling, quadrupling, it's weird because you're looking at things like, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, these massive conglomerates growing their bottom line revenues at like anywhere from 20 to 40%, which is just nuts for the scope of those companies. So if you can get that kind of security and growth, I mean, why not just go with the more secure option? That's just my opinion to why I think maybe a lot more investors are moving into the index funds or into these kind of top weighted companies, which seems to be the fact of the matter for right now. I mean, you look at Apple hitting all-time highs this week, right? Absolutely incredible. And on that note, Tim Cook, my favorite guy out there, has been talking a lot recently on some interesting shows, and I found some tidbits where he was talking about Bitcoin. They did mention about the Apple car, which they're not going to say anything about because, I mean, they basically get their engineers to sign non-disclosures, lock them in a room, and if they ever open their mouths, there's like some agent ready to just assassinate them. I don't know how they're keeping most of this a mystery, but damn it, he did talk about Bitcoin, which I found very interesting. So take a quick listen.
What's your thought on cryptocurrency right now, and potentially either accepting it through Apple Pay or otherwise?
It's something that we're looking at. It's not something we have immediate plans to do. I would sort of characterize it as there are things that I wouldn't do, like our cash balance. I wouldn't go invest that in crypto, not because I wouldn't invest my own money in crypto, but because I don't think people buy an Apple stock to get exposure to crypto. I'm not planning to, in the immediate future, to take crypto for our products as a mean of tender. But there are other things that we're definitely looking at.
Like what?
Like I wouldn't want to have anything to announce today.
Well, let me ask you a different question, because you just said that you might not do it personally. Do you own crypto, any Bitcoin or Ethereum? Would you play around with this?
I do, yeah. I think it's reasonable to own it as a part of a diversified portfolio. And I'm not giving anybody investment advice, by the way.
When did you get interested in it?
I've been interested in it for a while, and I've been researching it and so forth, and so I think it's interesting.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting to me that Apple, being this big tech company, doesn't want anything to do with the cryptocurrency from the business side, but from the personal side of Tim Apple, I'm surprised he's been buying into Bitcoin and, perhaps Ethereum and other digital assets himself, saying that, it's a good thing to have as a diversified portfolio. But on that note, folks, let me just dive down into my personal portfolio and show you guys what has been going on this week, because yes, my two major purchases, one being absolutely no surprise to you guys, I'm sure, of course, being Facebook stock. I mean, I bought another 5 shares this week. And I want to remind you guys that even though these companies are very overvalued, I'm on a much different time frame than a lot of you, and I'm not trying to brag. This is just the fact of life here, because I really think Apple, Microsoft, Google, these companies are incredibly overvalued. And so far, the only one that I'm the lowest weighted in is Google, because you'll see my cost average on Google is far too high in my opinion, whereas my cost average on Facebook after this last purchase, I think, is closer to $220 or $230 a share. Keep that in mind. My average cost on Microsoft, guys, $103. My average cost on Apple, $17. Think about that. I've been in these companies for a very long time, so I don't feel like I have nearly the risk exposure than most people may have getting into them today. And I know that's harder for newer people that are like, oh, well, I'm just starting out, but you got to be patient with this stuff, guys. But keep in mind, take a look at this. The Vanguard S&P 500 index. We've got Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Tesla, Pepsi, and Johnson & Johnson make up 51% now of my entire portfolio. I mean, I'm really reliant on these big companies, but I can't, I feel great about it, right? So I bought Facebook this week. I picked up those 5 shares, and then I also bought some more Bitcoin. My Bitcoin goal for this year, guys, was I was trying to get to about 15% of a Bitcoin, so that's 0.15 Satoshis going down the line there, because obviously, I mean, there's so many different points down. So I need another $60 of Bitcoin to be at my weighting for the year, and I'm done. I'm never buying Bitcoin again. However, I am going to be making free Bitcoin for as long as this promotion runs, because if you are Canadian, and you've heard me talk about this before, no scam, no bullshit like a lot of those other YouTubers are talking about and trying to get you to buy NFTs and stuff. Guys, you sign up to ShakePay as a Canadian, use this as your primary source to buy Bitcoin. If you deposit $100 using my referral link, you immediately get $30. I immediately get $30, but forget that. You get something called Shake Stats, where if you come in through that referral, you can shake your phone every day, and they exponentially give you free Bitcoin. And if I scroll down here, I've shown many of you guys this before, and I know many of you have signed up to this because I see how many of you have been signing up using my links. And I mean, I've been collecting anywhere from 55 cents to 60 cents a day, which is the equivalent of almost $300 a year. So that's 3% of investing $10,000. But you don't need to do any of that. You just got to sign up through the referral, shake your phone, and damn it, if you want to buy Bitcoin, deposit $100, I'll immediately make you a 30% return. Great platform, love this. But moving on, aside from the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency stuff, guys, just taking a sit here, I mean, I'm pretty happy going into the end of this year. I just want more dividends. Coming from somebody that's been highly focused on growth for the past year, primarily, I mean, this has been a growth year. At the start of the year, you guys might recall MindMed. Sold a huge chunk of my MindMed, started diversifying that. I've been pivoting around from index funds to growth stocks and primarily getting capped into growth stocks. So what I want to do is get this dividend somewhere around $10,000. And I'm going to be patient with how I go about doing this, but that's primarily going to be my next goal. I'm going to finish off my growth positions for the year. They make up a huge percentage of my allocated weighting, and I'm going to go back into the cash flow side of things and start really paying attention to, my lower half of the portfolio, which is this half, right? I mean, all these littler positions that pay really great yields, but aren't full positions yet. You'll see most of my large caps are about 20K positions, but my small caps, like my TELUS, I'd love to add more to, even though it's really overvalued here. I still like to get more TELUS. My banks, I just added a new bank, Royal Bank, recently, so I want to keep adding to that position moving into next year. I'm probably happy with Stag, but I did add Granite, and I like Stag more than Granite, but I'll still add I need to finish off Granite, get these things to about a $10,000 weighting. But other than that, guys, yeah, there's not much else to do here. Maybe finish off my Southern Company position and also build up a little bit more cash, because a lot of my cash position I've been weighting down, not only into just paying bills going into next year, but just, kind of finalizing up, my addiction to Facebook stock. But on that note, folks, I guess I'll pass the question off to you. What do you guys think about all of this in that comment section below? I'd love to hear about how your week's going. Maybe we're going to do some holiday live streams, some holiday giveaways. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I really appreciate everyone showing up, enjoying this journey that I have been presenting here on YouTube for the last 3 years, when I started with 100,000, and here we are, tripled that in just such a short time period. And it's a lot of because of you guys, keep me motivated, and hopefully I'm offering you some same motivation. So stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow.